What up, everyone? I'm Heatfire, and happy Valentine's Day. Today's video, I'm going to talk about a docuseries on Netflix called Killer Sally. And since today is Valentine's Day, I would just like to add that on the docuseries, Sally meets a man named Ray, and they end up getting married on Valentine's Day. And a few years afterwards, she ends up killing him on Valentine's Day. All right. So if you haven't seen the docuseries, I highly recommend it. It's a good watch. It's a 3-part docuseries, each are an hour long. It goes into the ins and outs of actually what took place. They're both bodybuilders, and they looked like they had everything together. But behind closed doors, there was a lot of domestic violence, and she ended up killing the guy. Yeah, which is pretty damn crazy. So, all right, I'm just gonna read a couple of short articles for you guys, and then I'll give my final thoughts on it. All right, let's get it. All right, so this article is from MSN.com. It says a court convicted Sally McNeil of murder on March 19th of 1996. It says Sally McNeil from Allentown, Pennsylvania, lives with her husband, Ray McNeil, in Oceanside, California, with 2 children. She admits that she shot Ray 2 times on February 14th of 1995. And by that time, I was 9 years old, so I don't remember this at all. But it was a good watch on Netflix. It was. It says that she shot him once in the abdomen and once in the jaw. Her 2 children were 9 and 11 and were present in the house when the incident happened. However, McNeil explained that Ray continually abused her and that the shots were in self-defense. Her lawyer used a battered woman syndrome defense strategy. However, the prosecutors argued that she was too strong to be battered. One key point in the case where the police found the second shell casing. In her defense, McNeil claimed that she had the casing in her hand. However, the officers at the crime scene found it in the bedroom far from the kitchen. All right, so what he's talking about right here is I'm not going to give spoilers. Just go watch it. But there was a point where she ends up shooting him once in the kitchen, and then she ends up shooting him twice. But her story wasn't matching up with the way his body was. He was found dead in the living room. Her story didn't match up with everything that led up to the crime scene. It's a good watch. The prosecutors did a good job. I'm not gonna say she did it premeditatedly, if I can even say that word right. Premeditated. I'm not gonna say it was premeditated, and I'm not gonna say that she wasn't battered. All I know is she ended up serving 25 years for it, and someone ended up dead. All right, so I'll leave it at that. It says the prosecution took advantage of the inconsistencies in her story and convicted McNeil of second-degree murder on March 19th of 1996. The court sentenced her to 19 years to life. McNeil appealed the verdict numerous times until it was overturned by the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. However, the state of California appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court and reversed the decision. No, Killer Sally is not in prison. All right. So she did serve her time. She is released now. Watch the docuseries. It'll go into the whole detail of everything that happened. In the Netflix documentary Killer Sally, McNeil explained that the last and final time she went to parole board, she had to claim she intended to kill her husband, Ray McNeil, otherwise she would never be free. And this is Sally McNeil right here. She's in her 60s right now. It says Sally McNeil was released from Central California Women's Facility in summer of 2020 after serving 25 years in prison. The Netflix docuseries read in part 3. According to the California Department of Corrections, McNeil went to her subsequent suitability hearing, hard to say that word, on May 29th of 2020. That's when they finally granted her parole because she said what they wanted to hear. When she left prison, McNeil lived at a Veterans Transition Center, VTC, Her first meal was from the Golden Arches, the McDonald's, I believe, and she happily explained that she worked at a warehouse. She is happy to be free to eat, sleep, and work when she wants on her own terms. Where's Killer Sally now? In the final minutes of Killer Sally, viewers find that McNeil met her boyfriend Stuart at a VTC support group. She reflected that he did not try to control her, but let her be free. According to McNeil's Instagram account, she married Stuart in June of 2022 and bought a house on July 10th of 2022. So yes, she ends up killing her husband on Valentine's Day. All right. She served her time, 25 years, and then she gets out and meets a brand new guy, and she gets remarried. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, damn, like I can't feel bad about my situation. You know, like yeah, someone's gonna end up loving me for me. You know, even though I don't have anyone. You know, I am single. I'm alone, but not lonely. So if she can find love again, damn it, I can too. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Here's another article. This one's from hitc.com, whatever that stands for. This is Sally and Ray, her ex-husband, the deceased man. Again, both bodybuilders. I think he was named Mr. California at the time, and it looked like they had everything together. It really did. And she even says that in the docuseries that it was a good relationship until it wasn't. Domestic violence all the time, drug abuse on his end, steroids. I don't know if they were doing anything else, but it wasn't discussed. It wasn't talked about in the docuseries. So let me go ahead and read this. It says, what was McNeil's sentence? In 1996, McNeil was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 19 years to life in prison. The Cinemaholic reports, although the conviction was overturned, it was actually then reinstated in 2004. Casting out the minds back before 1995, the couple initially met when they were both Marine Corps officers in 1987. And All That's Interesting reports that the first encounter at Camp Pendleton near San Diego was prefigured by McNeil's first marriage to Anthony Loden. She and Loden already had a daughter. After time in Marines, she began to make wrestling tapes and pursue other bodybuilding opportunities. Cosmopolitan also reports that McNeil alleged that her second husband was abusive in the relationship towards both her and her children, and that she killed him in self-defense. I just shot my husband because he beat me up, she told the 911 operator. Is Killer Sally McNeil still in jail? No. The Cinemaholic reports that McNeil was released on parole in 2020 and lived at the Veterans Transition Center in California after getting out, attending support groups meetings to help her with the transition from prison to regular life. In fact, she actually met who would go on to become her third husband, Norfleet Stewart, at one of the meetings. National World includes that McNeil's children, John and Shatina, reported attending the wedding, and McNeil now reportedly lives in Hesperia, Georgia. All right. So this is an interesting one. It really is. Again, they don't have a lot of detail in these articles. Best thing you can do is watch the docuseries. It's called Killer Sally. It's on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, maybe it's on something else. I don't know. Check it out. It's a great watch. All right. So my thoughts on it is, yeah, I mean, there's a silver lining here, which is crazy, but there is a silver lining. People are going to love you, no matter what you do. You can be downright disgusting, and someone's going to end up loving you, no matter what. You can go from having everything in a relationship and then it turning into complete shit. And even though things start out good in all relationships start out good. You know, we know that everything starts out great. But there comes a point in time when you have to decide when to let it go, when it becomes too toxic. And a lot of people can't let that go. They get familiar with the old things. It's kind of like, old shoes. You like the way the old shoes feel. You've already broken them in. You get a new pair of shoes, you got to break those in. And people would rather stick to what they know, even if it's toxic. And, it's like some people want to move on when they know it's bad, and some people would just rather stay in it. It's kind of like wearing a dirty diaper. The best way I can put it. It smells. Get comfortable in it though. And it is Valentine's Day. I know there's a lot of people out there who are celebrating Valentine's Day. Make it the best that you can. It doesn't necessarily have to be a day, just because it's Valentine's Day, it doesn't mean, you should spend all this money to show someone that you love them. That should be taken care of on a daily basis. And, those extravagant dinners and stuff like that, that's deserving, if you've been with your partner for quite some time. This goes for men and women. The men shouldn't just be the only ones treating the women. I believe that we're in a new day and age, and the women need to also contribute, whether it be in a house or outside of the house. However that dynamic works, I don't know. But for me, I know that since it is a new day and age, I for sure as hell ain't gonna be the only one dishing out money. All right, that's just not what I'm gonna do. And there is a hunger that people are looking for. They want to be fulfilled in life. They want to be happy with other people. But where we get lost is we look for happiness in other people when happiness comes from within. No one can satisfy that void except for us. We can't look for other people's validations to fulfill us. We have to fulfill ourselves. We have to be happy with ourselves first. If we can't love ourselves first, we can't love other people. And, toxic relationships, I'm going to say it comes from a point of hate somewhere within. How can you go from loving someone and then all of a sudden you just hate them? You just hate looking at them. Maybe they remind you of you. Maybe they remind just things that you don't like about yourself. Maybe the other person did change after a while. Maybe you changed after a while. Who knows? But the point is, when things are toxic, get away from them. This woman had everything. She's a bodybuilder. She was in the Marine Corps. Met a man who was also a bodybuilder, Marine Corps. They had it all in this docuseries. They had it all. And domestic violence got in the way. They got married on Valentine's Day, and she ends up killing him years later on their anniversary in California. So it's like, it's a story too good to be true, and it was too good to be true. So it's like, you can have it all. You can have it all. But then again, having all of it is probably too much for some people to handle. They have to screw it up somewhere. And for the people on the outside looking in, it's like they want it, but the people that have it, they don't want it anymore. It's like, how hard are you willing to fight for the good things that you do have in your life? You have to fight hard. You have to fight hard for relationships. You have to fight hard to keep it healthy. You have to fight hard to keep it strong. Things will deteriorate if you don't work for them. All right? So be good to each other. It is Valentine's Day. Treat each other well. Be happy. Be happy with yourself first. All right? Then everything falls into place. Treat yourself well. You treat yourself well, you're going to treat other people well. That's how that goes. Don't look for love outside of yourself. Look for love inside yourself first. You love yourself. When people start to disrespect you, you'll know it. you'll cut it off, and then there won't have to be more killings on Valentine's Day or just any other day to begin with. All right, so again, watch this docuseries on Netflix, Killer Sally. 3-part. It takes 3 hours to watch. It's a good one. I learned a lot from it. I really did. And hey, a woman can kill her husband, serve 25 years in prison, get out, and get remarried. And I looked at my situation and I was like, then there's some hope for me too. Then I can't feel bad about myself. If she can find it again for the 3rd time, I can definitely find it. I can find it again. And not that I'm in a hurry. I wouldn't even know where to look for it, but it's out there. I'm sure it is. So anyways, you guys, again, happy Valentine's Day. Be good to each other. And if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Comments. Share it. Subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.